Hey there, welcome back to the Polistic Yoga YouTube channel. I'm Jen, founder of Polistic Pole Yoga, 52 poses all on the ground. Today I'm going to show you a few poses on the yoga pole that you can do after explanting for breast implants. I know this is kind of a controversial topic, but it's one that I'm super passionate about sharing, and I'm here to help those women with breast implant illness overcome that illness and go on to live their best life ever. You can have confidence and joy, strength, and empowerment with any size breast. Be sure to subscribe to this channel, like this video, hit that notification bell so you stay up to date when I post new content. And if you know somebody with breast implants or somebody suffering with breast implant illness, please share this important video with them. In 2011, I explanted my breast implants. I'd had two different sets, the first one in 1999, the second one in 2005, and by 2011, I swore that if I was to keep them, then they were going to completely unlife me. Back in 2011, breast implant illness was not even a term yet. I had textured implants that have now gone to be banned from the market for causing cancer. I believe they were actually the first implants that were linked to causing cancer. And even in this book, I talk about how it felt like I had a cancer growing in my body. In 2020, when the pandemic hit and we all thought our world was ending, I thought, what is it that I need to do if I was to die from this thing that was going around? I thought, you know what? I made a promise to all those people that donated to my GoFundMe 11 years ago that I would continue sharing and helping. And although I really had been sharing a lot over the past 9 years, I felt like there was something more that I could do. So in 2010, when I decided to get my breast implants removed, it cost a lot of money and I didn't have that much money. And I was also pretty bedridden. I was very, very sick, no energy, depressed. My implants were actually migrating back underneath my arms. I had severe capsular contracture, and I actually had a knot growing in one of them. None of the surgeons could tell me what it was. The surgeon that I finally settled on said it was a rent. It was like a bump in the implant. When he actually explanted, we found out that it was a blood clot about the size of a golf ball that was growing in my implant. Now, looking back at the pictures, I can clearly see that it was a bruised area. I don't know how the surgeon missed it before. Maybe it's not a common thing, but he said it was from the first implant, explant to my second surgery, and it had been growing since 2005. I don't know if that's true or not. That's just what I was told. But I do know that if I kept those implants, I would not be here today sharing this story. Also, that same surgeon tried talking me out of fully explanting. He said I was going to need to undergo major counseling. I was going to have an identity crisis, and I was probably not going to be happy with my body after. All that was not true. That was completely false. I am so happy to be back to my natural size. He really did a great job on reconstructing. I had a lift and I had a full capsulectomy as well. And that's where they take out the full capsule. And I think that's really important for women who are looking at explanting. Some doctors do not do a full capsulectomy. And if you're having any sort of problems with your breast implants, I think it's essential to have the full capsule removed. There's a lot of controversy in this subject, but I'm just here to share my story, the things that I've learned over the past decade in helping other women explant. I also know it's super important to have drains put in after you get explanted, and I also know that it's super important to take your time. One thing that I did wrong before I explanted is I was doing a lot of cleanses. That's actually the time that I went fully plant-based. I had been going back and forth since 2004 from plant-based, raw food, vegan, vegetarian, pescatarian, and at that time I was pretty pescatarian, eating chicken and some fish, and I got food poison, and I was praying like, God, give me a sign. Am I supposed to be vegan? Am I supposed to be vegetarian? Is it okay that I'm eating meat? I got food poisoning from salmon, and I just said, you know what, that's it. And so I went really, really healthy. I went all in, all the supplements, and it's like the healthier I got, the more sick that I became. And it's because my body really was rejecting this plastic that was in my body, this foreign object. My body was trying everything to get it out. And so when people say that breast implant illness isn't real, let them know that the FDA has now coined the term breast implant illness. And if your surgeon doesn't believe in breast implant illness, please choose a different surgeon. There are many, many surgeons out there. I actually went with a lady last week to explant, and the surgeon's secretary told me that 75% of his patients are now for explanting. That is huge for me that so many women are going into explant, and it's another reason that I continue to share my story to save a woman from implanting originally. I like to say if I can catch a woman before she implants and get her on the yoga pole and into the Polistic Yoga Academy, I'm gonna change her life so much she's not even gonna be thinking about the size of her chest, because the size of your chest does not dictate your beauty. That is an inside job, and it really starts in our mind, and it starts with our energy. And so that's what we're gonna do today. This is the book that I wrote in 2020 that I was telling you about. It's got my story from that blog. This is right when GoFundMe came out, and I raised several $1,000s. So now as my give back project, I mail a copy of this book out every single month for free to a woman in need. I even pay shipping for this. It's got my story with hundreds of pictures in it. I took thousands of pictures over this time, and I didn't have anywhere to share them. I've even been banned for 90 days off of Facebook for sharing my story. So this is something that I'm really passionate about because I still share. It also has 2 other women's stories in it, and it has a really valuable journal in the back. This was really important for me to put this journal in the back because it really can be an emotional roller coaster explanting. And that's what Polistic Pole Yoga is all about. Pole plus a holistic lifestyle. And in my opinion, part of that holistic lifestyle is your emotional and mental well-being. I'm a huge proponent of journaling, and that's why both of my books have this journal in the back. Somebody asked me last week on social media, what's the first step in explanting? And the first step, in my opinion, is making up your mind. Making up your mind that you are gonna be better off without these implants. I also will have many women get on my feed. There might be a lady today that's watching this that's saying, I have breast implants and I am okay. And almost every single time that I deep dive in with a lady that's saying this, I find out that she is suffering from one of these symptoms of breast implant illness. I helped a lady last year go through the removal process. She had had 3 surgeons tell her that she could not explant, that her symptoms were not related, and she had been diagnosed with fibromyalgia about 6 months after she implanted back in 2010. She's been on several pain pills a day to deal with her fibromyalgia. She explanted, and within weeks that was gone. That is huge for me that this woman has been on pain pills for over a decade, and by using Polistic Pole Yoga, having confidence to get them removed, she is now healing, and she is a better version of herself every single day because she made that choice. And the list of common symptoms from breast implant illness is huge. All the way from chronic fatigue, cognitive dysfunction, difficulty concentrating, hair loss, dry skin and hair, premature aging, weight problems, inflammation, poor sleep, dry eyes and decline in vision, hyperthyroid, hyperadrenal symptom, hysterectomy, low libido, slow healing of cuts and scrapes, bruising, throat clearing, cough difficulty, swallowing, vertigo, gastroindigestive issues, pancreatitis, fevers, night sweats, intolerant to heat, cold, new and persistent bacterial and viral infections, slow clearing of common colds and flus, fungal infections, yeast infections, candida, skin rashes, ear ringing, sudden food intolerances, headaches, migraines, slow muscle recovery, heart palpitations, change in normal heart rate or heart pain, sore and aching joints of shoulders, hips, backbones, hands, and feet, swollen and tender lymph nodes in breast area, underarm, throat, neck, groin, bouts of dehydration for no reason, frequent urination, numbness, tingling sensations in upper and lower limbs, cold and discolored limbs, hands, and feet, general chest discomfort, shortness of breath, pain and burning sensation around implant or underarm, liver and kidney dysfunction, gallbladder problems, cramping, toxic shock symptoms, anxiety, depression, and panic attacks, feeling like you're dying, leaky gut, IBS, and SIBO, symptoms of or diagnosis of fibromyalgia, symptoms of or diagnosis of Lyme's disease, symptoms of or diagnosis of EBV, symptoms of or diagnosis of autoimmune diseases such as Raynaud syndrome, Hashimoto's, rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, and the last one, diagnosis of cancer. And as we know, breast implants are linked to cancer. The FDA has said this time and time again. And I even know somebody who has passed of cancer, and that has been linked back to her breast implants. So I just want to let you know that if you have breast implants, it's not a matter of if you're sick now, but it could be a matter of when you're going to get sick. I know that this is very controversial because talking about a woman's breast, it is our most intimate, private part. And I know that we live in a culture that says that big boobs is what makes you beautiful. But I'm here to tell you that that's not true. You can explant and you can still be beautiful. As a matter of fact, I went through a divorce last year. I'm 42 and I have 4 kids, and there was part of me that thought, am I pretty? Would people still ask me on dates? And trust me, I get asked on dates now every day. The size of my breast means nothing about how other people treat me, and I really love my small breast, so it definitely doesn't have anything with how I feel about myself now. When I look in the mirror, I see a happy, healthy, vibrant, alive human being. And when I looked in the mirror over 10 years ago, I was sick. I was dying. I was not thriving. And so for me, it doesn't matter the size of your chest. What matters is the size of your energy, the size of your heart, and the size of your courage. If you're on the fence about explanting, drop a comment below, or like I said, get that link in the bio and get your copy of this book, and it can help you emotionally. And these poses that I'm going to help you today will help you physically. You can use these poses before and after explanting surgery. I know with me, my implants were migrating back so far. And I did use Polistic Yoga before I explanted, but it was very hard for some of the poses that were upside down where we're on our hands, or even some of them like standing side angle where we're using more of our biceps. So today I'm going to show you some poses, and I'm going to assume that you've just gotten out of surgery and that you were not cleared to do exercise. So these are going to be poses that you can do within that 30 to 60 days of coming out of surgery when they tell you that you should not lift more than 5 pounds. I'm going to show you just a few poses, and you can use these poses just a few minutes at a time. Don't rush into doing a full 30-minute session. Give your body time to heal, but it really is important for you to stay stretched out, especially if you're sitting or laying a lot resting, which I really hope that you're doing, drinking lots of fluid, maybe drinking some juice. I've got some wonderful juice videos here, and juice and pole yoga is what helped me overcome breast implant illness and get back to being the healthy, vibrant person that I am today, and I know that it can help you too. Okay, so now let's get to the yoga pole. Usually we start with number 1, home pose, but we're not going to do that today. We're going to skip to number 2, forward angle. We're going to put both feet to the pole. We're going to hold our hands down, and usually we come all the way back. We're not going to do that. We're going to put our hands down. We're going to bend our elbows, and we're just going to go to a slight angle. And so you're not going to be pulling very much back at all. You're just bending the elbows, and you're going to look straight ahead, squaring up those hips. And you're going to breathe. I mean, you're really not putting very much tension on your arms at all. This is just to ground us and to center us as we come to the pole. Breathing. Now we're going to come to snake pose. We're going to put our left foot to the pole, wrap the right foot around, and we're going to gently fall back, but we're going to leave our hands either here at our hips, or we're just going to leave them down at the side, or you can even hold the pole gently. You're really not doing much with your arms here at all. Breathing. Usually in snake pose, we're coming all the way up. I don't want you to do that right now. I want you to keep your arms down, and this is really just about still opening our hips and giving our spine some alignment. And remember, we're always breathing or holding each pose for 12 counts or 3 deep breaths, and I want you to continue that pattern while you're practicing after you're explanted. And then you're going to switch, pointing that toe, and I want you to listen to your body. Don't fall back too far. Listen to your own pain signals in your body. If you're coming back too far, that's going to put more stretching on your abdomen, and it might hurt. So lean forward just a little bit more. Breathing. Breathing. Okay, now we're going to do a modified hero's pose. Usually hero's pose, we're going to come here and come all the way over. We are not going to do that today. We're just going to come femur length away from the pole here. We're going to put our leg up gently, and you're going to stay stationed on one leg straight up. Again, you can hold your hands down. You can even gently hold the pole with one hand if that feels comfortable. You can just do anything you like with your arms that feels good here. I do not want you going all the way over to the side or reaching your arms up. These are just gentle poses to help keep you aligned after your surgery. Go to the other side and gently come up. If you've had shoulder surgery or arm surgery, you can also do these poses that we're going over with today. So it's not just for people that have had breast explant surgery. It's for anybody that's had any upper body issues. You can use them to keep your core and your body all in a line, keep your spine in a line. Breathing. So now we're going to come into Superman pose. Again, this is a modified Superman pose. Usually this is what Superman looks like, but we're just going to bring that leg behind, breathing, holding on one leg, hands down to the side, keeping those hips as square as you can, breathing. This is really going to help you balance on that leg, pointing that toe, breathing. And then switch. Right foot down, left foot up gently, keeping the hips square and down. You're not reaching all the way out. Breathing. Breathing. Good. Now from here, we're going to come into sit spot. So we're going to be sitting down on the pole, sitting down. Sometimes we bring our hands up here. Again, we're not lifting our hands up. We're going to keep them down. Sometimes we go up on the tippy toes. Listen to your body. If you need to stay flat foot for this pose, stay flat foot, stay grounded. Breathing. Okay, good. From here, we're going to go to forward table. So we're going to lean forward. Usually we bring our arms back here, but we're not going to do that. We're going to hold them down by our side. Forward table, your back is flat, parallel with the ground. Breathing. Breathing. Good, and from here, we're gonna go ahead and sit down on the ground. Okay, so now that we're down on the ground, we usually come into forward sitting lotus pose, where we're holding the pole up here. We're not gonna do that. We're gonna hold our hands down. Lotus pose, you're gonna keep your knees down to the ground, and you can keep your hands on your knees with your palms facing upward, aligning your spine with the pole. And you're gonna be taking those big deep breaths in, exhaling out. Good, keeping that spine straight. Breathing. Remember those 3 deep breaths or 12 counts. Good, and then we're gonna gently come down to the ground. This is a gentle coming down to the ground. Breathing, gently coming down to the ground, hands on the earth, and we're gonna come into laying square pose. So we're gonna bring both legs up, laying square, pointing the toes. And these poses that we're going through today are just some gentle poses just to keep you mobile and flexible through your healing process. This is only going to take a few minutes, and if you do this sequence just a few times a day, you're going to heal faster, you're going to reduce inflammation, and you're going to help move those chemicals out of your body. Taking those big deep breaths, pointing the toe. Now we're going to come into laying scissors pose, right foot down, left toe up. Breathing, pointing the toes. Breathing, doing those 3 big deep breaths. Big deep breath in. Exhaling out. Big deep breath in. Exhaling out. One more big deep breath in. And then exhaling out, right foot up, left foot down on the exhale. Breathing. Going through those 3 deep breaths again. Breathing. Breathing. Good. Now we're going to come into laying lotus. We're going to bring the feet together. Usually in laying lotus, we take our hands and push our knees out. If that's too much for you to move your arms, keep them on the ground and just push your knees open as much as you can. Make it as wide as you can. Breathing. Sometimes we go into upward folded lotus. We're not doing any of the upward folded poses in this sequence, and I really want you to take it easy, especially for the first 30 days after, and especially if you've had a full capsulectomy. Breathing. Good. Now I want you to lay all the way down into corpse pose, laying all the way down, traditional yoga. Laying down, coming all the way into your breath. Feeling the rhythm of your breath move through your body. Taking as big a deep breaths as you possibly can. And then exhaling out. And I'm going to invite you to do that for those 3 times, keeping that breath rhythmic and in the flow. Good. Now we're going to gently roll to the side. So come over like a baby, and then I want you to gently come back up, and we're going to come into reverse sitting lotus pose, gently moving over into reverse sitting lotus. So the feet are together, the spine is straight, breathing. Hands again are beside your side. Usually in the end of our Polistic Yoga practice, we come onto our hands and we push ourselves up off the ground and we push our spine into the pole. We are not doing that today. We're just going to come here into reverse sitting lotus. Again, those 3 deep breaths, staying centered. And then after you've completed that cycle of those 3 deep breaths, we're going to come into sitting pose. And usually we shake it out with sitting pose, but we're going to gently shake it out today. Everything we're doing today is more gentle. You can use today's little tutorial several times a day, and you can use it for the first 30 to 60 days until the doctor has cleared you to getting back to moving. And you can add in those arms as it gets closer to that 30, 60-day mark, depending on how long your doctor has set out for recovery for you, and depending on what kind of explant surgery you've had. If you haven't had a full capsulectomy, your doctor might say give it 30 days. If you have, the doctor's probably going to say 60 days. And I want you to really listen to your doctor and your body. The most important thing is to listen to your body. If it hurts, whether that's picking up your groceries, picking up your child, or coming to the yoga pole, I don't want you to do it. This is the time that I want you to get really good at asking for help. And I know us as women, asking for help can be really, really hard. But this is your opportunity to receive love. Receive love from yourself and allow those around you to love on you too. I know some of us do not have the best support system. I did not have the best support system when I first explanted. But I know if I can get through it with everything that I had going on, you can get through it too. It's really important to surround yourself with people that love and care about you. And if they don't love and care about you through this explanting surgery, it's a really good sign that they're not going to do it in the future. I held on to some of those relationships after my explanting surgery that I knew did not support me properly during that time. And I really wish if I could go back, I would probably just have X'd them out of my life then, because it just drug the pain on longer. Usually how people do one thing is how they're going to do another. And if somebody cannot support you with this surgery, they are not meant to be in your life for the long term. I know that can be difficult, but with this practice and these habits, it can be possible, because now I'm surrounded with people that love me and truly appreciate me and that are here to help me. It's taken a long time for me to get there, but I've done the inner work, and that's why I'm here to share these tools and techniques and tips that really do help, because I want you to live your best life too. Thanks for practicing with me today, and I sure look forward to seeing you next time. I upload videos weekly here, tutorials in the kitchen, so if you're looking to get your diet and nutrition right, go find some of those videos from in the kitchen and really take this as a time to get your health in order. All the tools are here waiting for you in Polistic Yoga. The Polistic Yoga Academy, we dive even deeper into these topics, and there's a huge support community there. So if you're looking for a greater support community and a network, deep dive into the Polistic Yoga Academy. We're waiting on the inside to meet you there. I look forward to seeing you next time. Namaste at the pole.